fellow Toastmasters guest. Not too long ago, I was asked a profound question. The question was, George, Casey Jr., if you can be any animal in the world, what animal would that be? And that question had me stumped for a while. And I had to give considerable thought to it. And the first answer I came up with was a goat. The goat was in my teens. And I considered a goat because of how hard-headed I was. Everyone would always try to tell me things that would progress me forward in life, but because I thought I knew it all, I didn't listen. And eventually I found myself homeless for that very reason. I began to think a little longer, what animal would I be? And I came to my 20s. Oh, by the time I got to my 20s, I was smooth. I was like a cat. In fact, my nickname was Cat Daddy. Just think of a smooth cat gliding around. That was me, that smooth cat. But then as I got into my 30s and my 40s now, I'm just not as cool as I used to be. I'm just not a cat daddy anymore. So I figured, what animal would I be? Well, one morning I woke up and I went out to my front patio and began to sit and watch. And I looked up in the air and I saw a group of geese flying in a V formation. And I said, that's what I would be. I would be a bird. But again, I saw this V formation and I thought of a show that I had been watching called Sons of Anarchy. And I imagined as a youngster riding off into the sunset with my criminal buddies. And I said, no, I'm just not that person anymore. So what bird would I be? I thought about a parrot. And then I thought about an ostrich. An ostrich, that's what I would be. An ostrich is so fast, and I was pretty fast. Not quite as fast as I used to be. But I said, ostrich can't fly. So why would I be an ostrich? Then I began to think about the chicken. Anybody ever seen a chicken? How a chicken just kind of walks around with his head down, never really looks up because he's not confident in himself. And it reminded me of a story of an eagle. And the eagle was my favorite bird. An eagle had one day lost his egg. And as chance would have it, a chicken would find his egg, a hen. And this hen took the egg back to her nest and sat on this egg, and she sat on this egg until finally the egg hatched. And out comes an eagle. But unfortunately, this eagle was born into a chicken environment. And it began to associate with chickens. And eventually began to think like a chicken. He began to walk like a chicken, talk like a chicken, even act like a chicken. He would dream chicken dreams. See, his greatest aspiration was to jump way up on the fence post, to cockle-doodle-doo in the morning sun. That was the greatest aspiration because he was stuck in that environment. Well, one day, this baby eagle, let's call this baby eagle Chicken George, Casey Jr. But one day, Chicken George was out playing in the yard. And on this particular day, Chicken George had looked on the ground. And what Chicken George saw was a great shadow fly across the ground. And on this particular day, Chicken George looked up higher than he ever looked up before. And what Chicken George imagined, or what he saw, was an adult eagle flying in all of its splendor. And see, this adult eagle looked down on Chicken George and saw his dilemma. And when he swooped down, he began to speak to Chicken George. I imagine somehow Leghorn Foghorn. And he said, boy, I say, you ain't no chicken. around these chickens for far too long. Now you think you are one. But you were born for much greater than a chicken. You were born to be an eagle. You were born to set yourself apart from the pack. See, Rollo May once said, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it's conformity. And see, what we find ourselves doing as eagles, and see, I believe we're all eagles in this room. I believe we all have greatness inside of us. But maybe, perhaps like Chicken George, we were trapped into a chicken environment, forced to walk like a chicken, talk like a chicken, even dream chicken dreams. But today I'm here to remind you, as Leghorn Foghorn did, that you ain't no chicken. You're an eagle. And you have to remind yourself daily that you were born for greatness. See, I believe that we all are here for a purpose. Some of us can shoot a basketball. Some of us can run a football. Some of us can bake in the kitchen. And others are great motivational speakers. But we all have room to contribute to our great society. And as we all contribute as eagles, there'll be less and less chickens and more people like us who seek greatness. So I'll remind you once again, you ain't no chicken. Always remember, you're an eagle.